he's got a big smile on his face, and rightly so. Gla1ve, you've managed to make it to the major. It was certainly a close one. I want to take your mind, though, back to Ancient quickly, if I may, because we looked at your Ancient, we're saying you guys are easily one of the best teams in the world on that right now. Were you surprised on what he offered, or do you put it down more to yourself, maybe not being able to get it over quicker than that, because it got very close?
I do believe that we are one of the best teams in the world on Ancient, but I also think that Heet is a really good team. And we also saw it on the statistics. I mean, before ends, I talked to Snappy about it. He said they had like 87 or 82% win rate on Ancient. I know it's against like worse teams than Tier 1, but still they are a really good Ancient team. We knew that, but we still thought like we felt so confident on Ancient, so we just picked it.
All right, Gla1ve, first, congratulations, right? I want to talk a bit about a mentality for the team. Obviously, the last two games you played were against players, in G2, pretty hard opponents overall, and coming so close. And then going up against Heet, where it looked like things were kind of falling apart. Like, was there anything said in the team? Like, how did everyone react to that, and how were you guys able to kind of pull yourselves together and get the win here?
Of course, we felt a bit unlucky with going to play against number 2 and number 1 seeded in our group, I think. So yeah, that was pretty tough. We also played against ENCE, who is a really good team and just was in the final last tournament. So it was a pretty tough group stage for us with the matches, and of course it was pretty sad that we didn't beat G2, because we felt like that's a game we could have won, and we just tried it so many times that we are losing the third map in one way where we felt like we have the upper hand, and it's really rough. But hopefully we have used some of our bad luck now, and when we go to the major, some good luck will hit us, I hope.
Gla1ve, just looking at Astralis moving into this tournament, there's a lot of doubts, like how well you're going to play. I think here some of those doubts are just swept aside to some degree, especially Farlig, his performances. Like, is this team now a team that you feel like is very close to going back to the heights of the old Astralis lineup? I'm not saying like winning 4 majors, but challenging for titles at least, making major playoffs consistent, major tournament playoffs, right?
I mean, that's what we work so hard for every day. Practice 8 hours a day, and those hours is only going to be because we want to be title contenders. We want to do good at the major. We're really happy with this one goal that we had to get to the major, even though the route was pretty hard. I'm really happy, and yeah, I'm really satisfied that we were able to do it. We didn't lose to any teams that we should have beaten. But I mean, we still want to be a team that is able to beat both players and G2. But maybe hopefully at the major.
What do you think is missing then to be that team?
It's tough to say. I mean, we didn't have that much time with Farley yet, so we had to put him into everything that we have with Lucky, and he had to come in with something himself. So we're just starting to find how we want to play, and sometimes a bit of individual skill. Personally, for me, I think I can be a bit better. I know Zypex, he also thinks that sometimes he can be a bit better. Farley has been great at this tournament, has some great games, especially against G2. So and Config and Blame is playing really good for us. So yeah, it's really satisfying to play with all of them, to be honest. So yeah, a bit of individual skill and maybe just a few more tactics and yeah, some more fury.
Last question for me, Gla1ve. I'm actually glad you brought up Frolic, right? And one thing we noticed when we were talking about in the past couple of games, especially against G2, even over here, it seems like he's kind of found himself, maybe felt a little bit more comfortable and whatnot. Is it the team giving him a little bit more freedom to do what he wants to do, or is it himself, making that initiative, so to speak?
I mean, I'm trying to push him to take the initiative, because you can really fast. We have a lot of big personalities on our team, and you can really fast like be forgotten and go into the back because I have something to say every round. So if you don't say I want to do this, yeah, then it can be tough for me to remember everything that you want to do. And when you have the AWP, you want to play like this, and when you have the AK, you want to play in a different way and stuff. So I'm trying to push him as much as possible, and he's actually really good himself at doing it, especially when he's feeling the game, and that is when you should do it. So he's good at taking initiative, and yeah, it's just big props to him.
Cool.
Now, Gla1ve, before we get to the major, I also want to ask this, right? We've been looking at your dust too and seeing that, especially on the T sides, a lot of these rounds have been coming right down to the last few seconds. See you guys kind of run out of time more often than not. What is it that you feel like is going wrong for you guys? Because we normally look at you guys and say, okay, look, we can get this all together, we can make a good decision. And is there just a disconnect at all, or what do you think it is?
Yeah, a little bit sometimes, I think. Especially on the T side, it can be pretty rough when we get behind. I mean, when we practice and we have momentum, maybe we play against a bit worse team sometimes. We actually have pretty good results on those two. That's why we're feeling pretty confident on it. But when we start to lose and maybe they're doing some pushes or we're not winning the rounds we are supposed to, people maybe get a bit afraid and we're not doing the same things that we do in practice, and we kind of change our play style a little bit. So I think that's what hurts us the most. And yeah, of course we need some more tactics, because it's not one of the maps that we have worked the most on, because we want to implement vertigo also. So now we're playing all 7 maps, as you see. So we want to implement that, and that took some time away to go with those 2 and also Mirage.
And when you're talking about getting together and having some more tactics, right, and like you just said, you're playing 7 maps, which is incredible as it is, how much time do you think you're able to put into that ahead of the major with not too long to go? You know, you and A are going to have to do, you and Trace going to have to do some really big brainstorming on this?
Yeah, I think so. We need to work hard on the Dust 2. We need to look at some of the best teams and see what we can steal, what fits into our play style on the T side. Maybe change it a bit up on CT side some rounds as well. Have a look at what we're actually losing at, and yeah, I mean, we have some rounds on the T side where we're supposed to win, I think. And if we win those rounds, we start to get the momentum, but we lose those rounds like 5 versus 4 or 5 versus 5, where we're in really good positions to just squeeze them in and stuff like that. And we don't win those kind of rounds. And if we lose those kind of rounds, we're going to have a rough T side, of course. So yeah, T side is extremely tough right now because of the silence of meta. So if you don't win the rounds that you're supposed to, you're going to have a tough time.
Yeah, we definitely all know that as well. Well, Gla1ve, thank you very much for your answers. Congratulations once again on making it to the major, and we'll see you soon in Antwerp.
Thank you very much, guys.
Well, at least he's well aware of it, right? What we've been spotting.